Funky, funky, funky.
Tech radio check.
Yo, what's good? It's your brother Breezy Brainstorm, and we are here with episode 193 of the Hip Hop Riff of the Week. This week, Time's Up. Time's Up by OC. This song is a hip hop classic, a lot of people's favorites. I know I'll say it plenty of times, it is deceptively simple. It's one note and it's an octave, but it's not going to be easy. Now we're going to be focusing on the right hand. With this riff, it's just key of D minor and we're playing the octave D. And we're going to really focus on the rhythm of this since we're only playing technically one note, but it's two notes, is the D and the octave. We're going to focus on the rhythm, and I'm going to use a metronome and start off slow so that you guys can kind of catch the rhythm and I can explain what I'm doing in my right hand. So I'm going to play it real quick, but I'm going to explain some techniques that you're going to need to use. This is more of a fundamental technique, and it's also going to show you that this is a rhythm instrument. If you can make one note sound funky, then you're doing your job as a bass player. So OC Word Life album, Time's Up. Let's get it. That's the riff. Seems simple, but you need coordination. So what we're going to do is, since this original sample, I believe 1969 is when the original song came out, we're going to go off the thinking that this was played on a jazz bass, and a lot of jazz bassists love to use open strings. Luckily, there's an open D string on the bass. So I'm using the open D string for starters, and I'm using I guess middle or index finger, whatever finger you feel comfortable with. Playing the A, I'm sorry. No, it's a D. I'm tripping because I was thinking it was a root fifth. It's D. The octave D on the 7th fret of the G string. So these are the only two notes that you're playing. Now, obviously, you can play this all along the fretboard since it's just an octave. You can do the D on the 5th fret of the A string and then use your pinky. You can do the 10th fret of the E string, an octave of the 12th fret of the D string. But why do all that work when we have an open string? That's the beauty of open strings. So to make it simple, I'm just striking my index finger on the open string, then my middle finger to hit the D on the 7th fret. And a fundamental technique when you're picking on the bass guitar is to use alternate fingers to pick. And specifically when you're skipping strings, when you go from one string to the next, you want to strike the D string with your index and then reach up and use your middle finger to strike the octave D on the G string and bring that middle finger up to mute the previous string. So this is how you play down the fretboard, well, I guess up the fretboard as far as harmonics is concerned, while muting previous strings. And since we are using the middle finger to hit that octave D on the 7th fret, we're going to go ahead and use that same finger. We're going to use the ease of motion in this case to bring it up to play the D. So there we go. You guys can see that I'm doing index, index, middle. Then I'm using my index finger to back. So I'm just kind of like walking my fingers up and down the strings. Kind of harder to explain, but it's more of a just alternate finger pick with your fingers. Because when I think of finger picking, I think of guitar, so I don't want to confuse anyone. Um, so that's the gist of it. You're gonna have to get used to. And where your money is going to be is when you're going from the G string, hitting the D on the G string to the actual D string, is using that same finger to hit both. They hit both notes. And you're doing this. That way you don't have to alternate. You only alternate your fingers going from the D string to the G string. Also, I'm muting, since I'm using either finger to mute the D string when I'm going up to the G string, how I mute the G string is I use my left hand. I'm using my middle finger for stability to play this octave D. When I'm muting it, I'm just bringing my finger up. So I'm using my left hand to mute the G string, and I'm using the alternating fingers to mute the D string. That's how I'm keeping the rhythm fluid. So I know that that can be a lot to digest without any rhythm, since we're just playing one note. So I'm going to play a metronome. This is about 60% of the speed of the riff, just so you guys can get a feel for the bounce of it. And this riff is literally just this bass line and some drums and him spitting fire. So let me just play this metronome real quick and we can break it down. So that's at 60%. It, like I said, deceptively simple. As it picks up speed, you don't want to get tongue tied with your fingers and, you know, get caught up in the strings. So 100% recommend you practice this slow and work your way up. So this is 80%. Let's see we can keep up here. That's at 80%. As you can see, you can get the gist and you can work your way up to 100%. I'll try 100%. I had to work my way up to 100%. So we'll see how this goes, because when I was first doing this riff, I did want to try it, you know, with 5th fret, 7th fret, 10th fret, and 12th fret. But it just didn't make any sense to do that, you know? We have an open string. Let's make it as easy as possible. So I'll try it on 100%, see if we can get this all the way through. You know, this is what we're all working towards, to play with the song, right? Let's get it. There we go. So yeah, not as crisp as I would like it to be, you know, need to tighten up a little bit, but you know, work your way up to 100%. Work your way up to 100% with this riff. It's going to be one of the simplest, most complicated, yet fundamental riffs that I'll have on here. just one note, octave with an open string. It's a lot of fundamentals you can learn from this. So don't think this is just simple because don't think this is just easy just because it's just D octave. You have open string lesson, you have alternate finger picking lesson, and you have a rhythm and groove lesson all built into this one riff, you know. Finding the pocket, finding the groove of that note. And the other two things I said before. It's your brother Breezy Brainstorm, but obviously this is just a classic song, hip hop sample and all that. But there are lessons in these samples, you know, especially as us musicians. We got to break it down, see what we can use to practice, because after a while, you know, you practice different fundamental riffs, but your practice is going to start becoming your favorite songs. So you're going to use songs as practice over time as you build a repertoire. And that's one of the main reasons why I'm creating this hip hop riff of the week. So you can find songs that you can use as practice, find the fundamental things that you learn as a bass player in these songs. So you're not just bored, just doing, you know, random rudiments and stuff. You can practice and make it sound like a song. And, right. This is one of them ones. Don't sleep. It's your brother Breezy Brainstorm. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. We almost at 200. We have a repertoire. Let's go back. If you're new here, check it out. Check out the rewinds and the reruns. So I'm gonna catch y'all on the next. Peace. Talking now.